Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're diving into a topic I think we can all relate to, keeping it simple.
Yeah.
Life just seems to get more and more complex. The world's kind of a crazy place, so much going on. But what if the key to navigating it all is actually about stripping things back, finding a little more peace and clarity in a world that often feels anything but peaceful or clear.
I love that.
So that's exactly what we're diving into today
Yeah.
with this article aptly titled Keep It Simple.
Nice.
We are on a mission to uncover some seriously valuable strategies for a less overwhelming life, and I am pumped to unpack all this goodness.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Okay, so the article jumps right in, and it calls out our tendency to overthink.
Mhm.
And, I'm definitely guilty of this.
For sure.
It basically argues that overthinking is the ultimate enemy of a simple life. So what are your initial thoughts on this overthinking complexity connection?
You know, what I find interesting is it doesn't just say overthinking bad, which we've all heard, right?
Yeah.
Like, we know. This article kind of digs a little deeper and actually points to I don't know if it's an addiction, but definitely our reliance on information as a major culprit in this.
Oh, interesting.
We're bombarded with news, social media, just endless notifications, and it creates this constant mental noise.
Right.
It's like this buzz, buzz, buzz all the time.
Totally.
And the article actually suggests that this constant influx of information is almost rewiring our brains to crave complexity,
Wow.
making it even harder to find peace and simplicity.
Yeah, it's like our brains get so used to processing information on overdrive that then simplicity just starts to feel, I don't know, almost boring or
Oh,
something.
exactly. Yeah, it's like we've literally forgotten how to appreciate the elegance of a simple solution because we're just so accustomed to seeking out complexity.
We want more all the time.
Yes.
Which I guess makes sense, right? It's like our brains are just kind of wired for that.
Yeah.
So, okay, that makes total sense. Overthinking is out. Got it.
Right.
But then how do we actually embrace this idea of simplicity? How do we put it into practice?
Well, the article introduces this principle that I'm sure you're familiar with, which is the KISS principle. So keep it simple. Stupid.
Yes.
Now, I know that might sound a little blunt,
Yeah.
but I think it really emphasizes how important this concept of simplicity is, and not just as a lifestyle choice, but almost as a fundamental design principle.
Absolutely. And I love that the article calls that out because I think, we often think of simplicity as this minimalist aesthetic.
Right.
Clean lines in our homes or having a capsule wardrobe, which, hey, those are great.
Yeah.
But the KISS principle, it kind of takes it a step further. It's recognizing that simplicity is often a sign of truly elegant design and effectiveness.
Okay. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and you think about it, some of the most successful products, ideas, they're deceptively simple.
Yeah, that's true. Remember the first time you used an iPhone?
Yeah.
It was intuitive and elegant, and it just worked?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, totally.
That's the power of embracing the KISS principle in design.
That's true. It's I remember when I first got an iPhone, I was like, oh my gosh, finally a phone that doesn't require an instruction manual to figure out.
Exactly.
Okay, but it's not just about tech gadgets, right? The article also talks about how simplicity can be applied to communication.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is huge, right? Because how much more impactful is a message when it's clear and concise and to the point?
Right.
The article gives this great example of Nike's "Just Do It" slogan.
Oh, yeah.
3 words, but it's become this global phenomenon.
Totally.
It's been motivating people for decades to take action.
That's so true. I find myself sometimes writing these emails or putting together these presentations where I'm trying to cram so much information in there.
Right.
And I'm like, is this just way too overwhelming? Maybe I need to channel my inner Nike ad and just keep it simple.
Right. And that's sometimes less truly is more,
Yeah.
And that actually brings us to another really important point in this article,
Oh.
which is the idea that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to simplicity.
Yeah.
The article really emphasizes, the importance of finding what works best for you, for your personality, for your lifestyle.
Oh, I like that. It's about finding your own unique path to simplicity instead of just following some rigid framework.
Yes.
Why is that personalized approach so crucial?
Because we're all wired differently. What simplifies life for one person might feel incredibly restrictive or stressful for another.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Some people thrive on meticulously organized schedules,
Right.
while others prefer a more go-with-the-flow approach.
Totally.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
The key here is to be mindful of your own preferences, Identify what truly simplifies your life, and then tailor your strategies accordingly.
It's so funny you say that because I've tried those like productivity hacks where you're supposed to like plan every minute of your day. And it
Yeah.
just stresses me out.
Right.
Like for me, my version of simplicity actually involves like having more unstructured time.
Interesting.
Like for creativity and just like spontaneity in my day.
I love that.
Because if I overschedule myself, then I just feel like this like pressure to like perform.
Yeah, and the article actually acknowledges that.
Okay.
It's not about forcing yourself into like this specific mold of what simplicity should look like. It's
Right.
really about discovering what brings you a sense of peace and ease.
Yeah, I like that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've established that embracing simplicity is very much a personal journey.
It is.
But then how do we actually start putting these ideas into practice?
Yeah, that's the question,
Like,
right?
how do we make this happen? Well, the article talks about the power of like a 30-day challenge
Oh, yeah,
to
interesting.
kind of experiment with new habits and simplification strategies.
Love it.
And I'm a big fan of the 30-day challenge because
Yeah.
it feels way less intimidating than like making this like massive permanent change to your life, you know?
Right, totally.
The article uses this example of cold plunging.
Okay.
Have you ever tried that? It's like you're just, dipping your toes in the water.
Right, you're testing it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they talk about how a 30-day cold plunge challenge can not only boost your physical well-being, but like build mental resilience,
Right.
all by like incorporating this one, kind of simple,
Yep.
albeit a little intense, practice into your routine. So thoughts. What do we think about the cold plunge?
Well, I think the cold plunge is such a great example because it highlights how experimenting with even just one new habit
Yeah.
can have these ripple effects
Mhm.
like throughout your life.
Right.
And I also think 30 days is such a great time frame because it gives you enough time to kind of push past that initial resistance you might feel
Yeah, totally.
and actually start seeing some real tangible results. But it's not such a long commitment that it feels overwhelming.
Yes, it's like that sweet spot of
Yep.
like not too much, not too little.
Exactly.
It just, it gives you a good taste.
Yeah.
Okay, so if someone's listening and they're thinking, okay, I'm ready, like I'm on board,
Yeah.
I want to simplify.
Let's do it.
What are some practical things they could start experimenting with?
Yeah.
Like what are some things that we can actually do? The article does a really good job of like wrapping up with a bunch of great tips
Yeah.
for like incorporating simplicity into different areas of life. Were there any that stood out to you as like, ooh, this is a good one?
I really appreciated that it gives some very practical tips.
Yeah.
And it goes beyond just, decluttering your physical space.
Right.
It talks about, crafting really clear and concise presentations,
Okay.
writing shorter, more focused emails,
Yeah.
even designing minimalist homepages that load faster
Ooh.
and reduce distractions.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So it's about identifying and eliminating unnecessary complexity in all areas of our lives.
It's like streamlining your entire life from your like digital world to, your physical space.
Yes, exactly.
To like your daily habits and routines.
Yeah. And I think the real takeaway here is that simplicity isn't about deprivation.
Right.
It's about intentionality.
Ooh, I like that a lot.
It's about being mindful of how we're spending our time, our energy, and making these conscious choices to simplify where we can so that we have more space for the things that truly matter.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. It's about being intentional with our complexity,
Yes.
right? Not just adding it in just because we can,
Exactly.
which guilty.
Yeah.
But I love that really that resonates with me, and it kind of brings us back to the beauty of that KISS principle.
There it is.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
It's such a good reminder that often like the simplest approach really is the most effective
Is.
and the most freeing. Yes. Oh, I love that.
Love it.
Well, we've explored a lot today, haven't we?
We have.
From like battling that overthinking monster
Yeah, it's a beast.
to like harnessing the power of the KISS principle, finding our own unique path to simplicity, experimenting with these 30-day challenges.
Yeah.
We even talked about cold plunges.
We did. Maybe somebody listening is going to try it now.
Maybe so. You never know.
Yeah.
But, jokes aside, it really seems like achieving true simplicity is an ongoing journey, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely.
It's not about like reaching this destination where everything's perfectly streamlined.
Right.
It's more about like cultivating that mindset of intentionality.
Yes.
And like constantly seeking out those little pockets of calm amidst the chaos.
So well said.
Right, which I think is a beautiful thing.
It is. It's a process.
Yeah.
Evaluation, experimentation, finding what works for you.
Finding what works, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it, your deep dive into the art of keeping it simple. We walk through the pitfalls of overthinking, the elegance of the KISS principle, the importance of personalization, the power of experimentation, and even touched upon those invigorating cold plunges.
Yes.
What resonated most with you today? What will you try to simplify in your own life? Keep those thoughts bubbling, and we'll catch you in our next deep dive.